Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for November 10, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, high school girl charged for wounding schoolmate. The Kingston Western Police have charged a 16-year-old high school student following allegations that she attacked and seriously injured a fellow student at school on Tuesday. The student is in custody awaiting a court date. It is reported that about 1 p.m. Tuesday, the two students got into an altercation at the school. It is alleged that a 16-year-old used a stone to hit the 15-year-old victim repeatedly in the face and head. The 15-year-old sustained multiple injuries and was rushed to the sick bay where she was treated by a nurse. The Dean of Discipline was informed of the matter and contacted the police. The accused student was taken to Denham Town Police Station where she was charged with wounding. Indicom probes a police shooting of taxi operator in New Kingston. The Independent Commission of Investigations has launched a probe into an incident where a police officer reportedly shot a taximan in New Kingston yesterday. The taxi operator, 34-year-old Andre Johnson, was reportedly shot in his leg during an incident that stemmed from him allegedly being illegally parked. Essentially, we were advised that there was an altercation between a taxi man and a police officer. The interaction escalated and the officer discharged his firearm, allegedly, and the taxi man was hit in the thigh, Indicom's Commissioner Hugh Faulkner told the news. He said Indicom investigators have seized the officer's firearm for submission to the forensic lab for ballistic testing, and the investigation is in full operation. Man accused of killing parents pleads guilty to manslaughter. 25-year-old Simeon Ramsey, who is charged with the death of his parents, has been deemed fit to answer to the charges and has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter. Ramsey was charged with 2 counts of murder in the death of Phyllis Ramsey, a 55-year-old teacher, and a 69-year-old Cecil Ramsey, a minister of religion, both of Antars Avenue Christian Meadows in Portmore, St. Catherine. He is to be sentenced on December 11. Ramsey, a 25-year-old teacher who lived with his parents, is said to suffer from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. When he appeared before Justice Bertram Morrison, the Crown accepted his plea for the lesser offense of manslaughter. Allegations are that about 4 a.m. on February 4, 2022, the accused attacked and stabbed his parents repeatedly at their home. The Ramseys were found by a visiting relative with multiple stab wounds. The accused was held near Phoenix Park in Portmore after his vehicle crashed. He was arrested, and following a question and answer session, he was charged with 2 counts of murder. He reportedly confessed to killing his parents. More people to be charged for failing to report crimes, Prime Minister warns. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has promised that investigators will be seeking to lay more charges for the common law offense of misprision of felony to encourage people to know of crimes to make a report to the police. Mr. Holness made the disclosure as he addressed the staff and the students at the Chetwood Memorial Primary School in St. James. He said steps will be taken to move misprision of felony from common law to an offense under specific legislation.
Doesn't mean that they participate in the crime. It doesn't mean that they aided and abetted or gave any support or were a part of any common design to commit the crime. But they have come into knowledge, they know. They are under a duty under our existing law to come forward. And we intend to utilize this much more in our pursuit to bring this terrible beast of murders under control. Somebody in the community of Salt Spring knows.
He reiterated that the government would be seeking to further amend the Firearms Act to increase the penalty for possession of a prohibited weapon. Charges are also coming to the Offences Against the Person Act to increase the mandatory minimum sentence for capital murder. Chetwood Memorial Primary School has been mourning the loss of 2 students, 7-year-old Justin Perry and 9-year-old Nakoliva Smith, who were killed after gunmen opened fire on a taxi in which they were traveling on Monday. A man said to be the target of the attack was also killed. Bomb threats disrupt the activities at several schools. Activities at several schools across the island were disrupted Thursday after receiving bomb threats which the police have concluded were pranks. Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of the crime portfolio, Fitzabili, told the news that the police exhausted all their checks and were satisfied that the threats were hoaxes. Bailey also told the news that investigations are ongoing to determine the source of the ruse, but declined to give any further comment on the matter. Jamaica Teachers Association President Leighton Johnson, in an interview with the news, said he was taken aback by the different means and the methods which criminals are using to create a fear. This brings into sharper focus the levels at which criminal masterminds will go to disrupt harmony in education. Of course, they have succeeded in some instances in terms of increasing anxiety. Our schools are currently still battling to remain safe places, he said. Students have indicated that in some instances they do not feel safe on compounds, and the teachers too have indicated that they are not feeling very safe based on these threats and the level of violence that is portrayed by students and which they sometimes experience, not necessarily on the school compound alone. There has been a national consensus because if bomb threats are going to come as an additional avenue that threatens education, it is a cause for serious concern. It is an indication that criminal masterminds are improving on their strategy to create fear and mayhem in our country, and as a nation, we have to stand against it, Johnson told the news. The JTA president said that in addition to Kingston and St. Andrew, schools in the parishes of St. Catherine, Trelawney, St. Elizabeth, and St. Anne received bomb threats, adding that teaching and learning at many of these institutions were disrupted because of the threats. There were some schools that took it more seriously than others. They dismissed the students and all staff and called the police, who cordoned off the school and began their extensive investigations. To this end, we have not fully received information or word from the police to substantiate whether or not there was a real threat. We want to use this opportunity to call on all administrators and the principals that once they are in receipt of any information of this nature, then they are not supposed to take it lightly. They must activate their safety and the security protocols to ensure that we treat as priority the safety and the security of students, teachers, and other categories of employees on the school compound, Johnson said. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is collaborating with other relevant stakeholders to investigate the threats that were sent to schools and encourage the people to remain calm as they are working assiduously to locate the source of the threats and assured that all resources will be used to restore normality as quickly as possible. Just last month, more than 300 devices believed to be pipe bombs were seized by the police in Western Kingston. There was nothing, however, to suggest that the people who made these devices had anything to do with the threats issued to schools Thursday. Security expert Robert Finney-Smith said on Thursday that in the event of a blast, Jamaica might need assistance from the United States to do investigations. I know we have a bomb squad, but as to what the capacity is, I am not in a position to say yea or nay. I would believe that we would need assistance in that regard. My recommendation is that we ask the United States to send a couple of techs. Like how we have had the threats all around, I do not know if we have the capacity to respond with experts to all of them, Finney-Smith told the news. In 2016, then United States Ambassador to Jamaica, Luis Morano, said that although Jamaica and the Caribbean did not have major terrorist activities, the region needed to become adequately prepared to respond to and properly investigate such cases. Moreno was speaking at the culmination of a 3-day post-blast investigation course staged by the Federal Bureau of Investigation for various national security agencies at the Green Bay Firing Range in Portmore, St. Catherine. During the course, members of the security forces witnessed a 50-pound bomb being used to demolish an armored Cadillac sedan, which set the groundwork for a criminal or terrorist investigation to take place. John Bates of the FBI's Weapon of Mass Destruction Unit, who helped to execute the training, encouraged the local law enforcers to broaden their scope and to think outside the box when investigating bomb blasts. Audio